My name is Gerald Durley. I started in the movement in 1960 with Dr. King in Nashville, Tennessee. Stayed down there organizing, finished Tennessee State. When I finished, I couldn't stay in America, so I moved to Nigeria in 1964. Lived in Nigeria for 2 years. And then after that, I tried to get back to America. They wouldn't let me in, so I had to move to Switzerland. Stayed there, and then I came back to America and joined the Panther Party in Chicago while I was getting a master's degree feeding children. And then went on through and then finally became a psychologist and then became dean at Clark. But I was working with historically black colleges, but always deeply entrenched in how do we lift up our people. So at 40, I went to Howard University and got a Master of Divinity. And after I finished the Master of Divinity, I moved to Atlanta, became dean at Clark Atlanta University, and then took over as pastor, was Ebenezer for 5 years. And then from there to Clark and stayed there. And then I've stayed pastor for Providence for 25 years and retired from there. Yeah, I think it's very important that we never back away from the cause. Right now, I'm still in the fight. I'll be 74 years old soon. I started 55, 56 years ago. And I think every now and then we have to be reminded. That's what the Million Man March is about. Louis Farrakhan had a great idea, and he has to come back and remind us because we get lackadaisical. We get a little bit of success and think we got it made. So I think this march and all the people that are working here tonight, it means a whole lot. And the great work of Tim McDonald, who stayed on the course, and Minister Abdul Sharif. And so I came by tonight, and I'm standing there all the way through. My role at my stage in life is to move and get the next generation motivated, excited. And it's only when we understand that we've got to sacrifice and risk something. Nobody's going to give us anything. So that's why I think this march now, 20 years later, I think back now, I was at the original march in 1963. That was my senior year in college in 63, 55 years ago. And so now I look at that and it gives me strength to continue to encourage these young people that are here tonight. Well, I think the first one, it had never been done before. You had never put 1 million people in the nation's capital. It had never been done before. And so this time, I think it's much more, people are much more expectant. Young people are involved. Others want to be there to make a difference because this time we do have a black president in the state. The first time it was not. There was not the level of sensitivity. So the second time it comes around, we cannot take this for granted because this is a reunion. And as I said, a reunion is about family coming together with one voice and one direction. So this, I think the strength of this one will be even more powerful because the first one we didn't know what was going to happen. But this one we are in control of what's happening, the organizing, the planning, and all of that. So I look forward to the excitement of this one. Home, one of the basic things you can do is respect each other. Fathers, let the children see you respecting the mothers. Mothers, see your fathers being respectful. So I think that these are the kinds of things that those are basic things. Making sure your kid gets up and get out to bed and go to school. Making sure that they're not sitting playing with games all day. Watching what they're watching on TV. These are basic things that build the character of a person. And if we get a whole room full, a city full of character, then we can direct that energy. So the first thing we can do is understand the power of the individual in doing things like this and the character of it. So that's what I think is really important. And then when the characters come, then we come together as a team, come together as a family, come together as a people, and eventually we become that nation that we're supposed to be. It means that we have not given up, we have not been down, we have not backed up, and it means that now we're reawakening. You know, every now and then, and I diet a lot, and the reason I have to diet every occasion because I get in the middle of it and I start eating back what I used to eat, the bad food. So every now and then we have to be reminded and be thankful that there are enough people coming together. So this march means that, wow, we're re-educating and educating the generation now ahead of us. The first outcome and a major outcome is that we begin to love, respect, and understand each other and communicate with each other, that we don't have to put each other down, but we can see each other doing our finest, our best. When we can see each other standing shoulder to shoulder in the nation's capital, then we can understand what it's like. So when we go back home, take it. That's why I said tonight, This is just not a march. This is not just a history. It's a time when we come back and we share it with people when we go back home. That's what I would love to see. Respect, trust, and understanding so that we can communicate.